Alright, so last year I tried something a little bit different, something that I thought might be kind of fun, change things up a little bit, and it was the Gundogging it up to the max challenge. The main idea was to take Gundog's idea of crumbling up crackers and mixing different ingredients and MREs and really take it to the extreme and basically take everything in a meal ready to eat that's edible and mix it all up and eat it all as one bowl meal. I really thought this was a new and original idea, and as it turns out, of course, MREs have been around for a long time, and soldiers have been eating them for a long time. I was thinking about it, it's kind of mind-boggling to think just how many millions of MREs have been eaten over the years. And soldiers who have to do that on a regular basis, despite the variety of menus and the fact that the Natick Labs are always trying to improve them, they do get boring. They do get monotonous. And you do have to do something to spice them up and make them a little bit more interesting. And I had forgotten that this method has actually been used by soldiers. Sort of as a joke also, and kind of like as a challenge. And the official term for that is the blender, which makes a lot of sense. You basically take everything in here and blend it all together and try and get the whole thing down. So as I mentioned, I did this challenge last year for the first time, and it kind of left a bad taste in my mouth, both literally and figuratively. Literally, because it just tasted really bad, and figuratively because I wasn't able to finish it, and I felt really bad about that. But I was really happy to see that 3 of my favorite reviewers took up the challenge and did this themselves. First off, Gundog himself did it, and I can't tell you how much of an honor it was to hear Gundog saying that he was about to do the G. Schultz 9 Gundogging It Up challenge. For Gundog's challenge, he used a pork sausage and cream gravy MRE, which may be the grossest challenge video that I've seen so far. In addition to Gundog, Sticky Fingers 745 also took up the challenge, and Sticky Fingers used a 2008 veggie burger. And the only other person I'm aware of who has done it so far was Polish reviewer Delicious. And he put a really interesting spin on it by using a Polish ration, which had spaghetti with meat sauce as the entree. And the thing that those had in common was that all 3 of those reviewers were able to finish their challenge, which made me feel even worse about not finishing mine. And that brings us to today, and this second example of a Gundogging It Up to the Max challenge for me. And today's challenge will feature menu number 17, pork sausage patty maple flavored. And this is from the Warner Company, which means it does not have a date code on the bag, so I'm not sure how old it is, but it has to be from between 2012 and 2016, which is when the pork sausage patty was menu number 17. And I think that's enough talking, and it's time to get down to business. One other thing I will say about this is that I do feel like I'm cheating a little bit in that the first one I did was a meatballs and marinara sauce MRE, which had a full 8-ounce entree and a 5-ounce side dish of mashed potatoes. This one has this small entree, pork sausage patty, which is only about 3 ounces. So that's going to help me out a little bit. But let's see what we have. Here we have the pork sauce pat maple flavored with a day code of 5078. Meaning that it was packaged on the 70th day of 2015. So this is a pretty recent one. I would have liked to have done a regular review of this, but I've done pork sausage patties a number of times in the past, and I actually acquired this by mistake, thinking I was getting a different MRE. So it kind of just made for a really good opportunity. But we have the nice little pork sausage patty here, and it should have, there it is, there's the card here, so we can see that it is 102 grams, or 3.6 ounces. So this is just under half the size of a standard MRE entree. In addition to that, we have nut raisin mix. That should make for a nice addition to our mix. And we have crackers. I'm really glad to see this because the first one I did had tortillas, and I really didn't know what to do with those. But the crackers are a perfect Gundog type thing because he loves to crumble up crackers and put them onto his food. We also have cheese spread go along with that. And then we have a lemon lime beverage base powder. And one more thing to eat in here is the maple muffin. This used to be maple muffin top, now they're just calling it maple muffin, and it's trans fat free. Flavor's ration heater, which I think we are going to use. Hot beverage bag, MRE spoon, and then to add a little bit of liquid and a little extra sweetness, table syrup. This, of course, is a breakfast menu, and this is actually probably my favorite breakfast menu in the MREs. And one complaint that you sometimes hear about these is that they're too sweet. Basically, you have the maple-flavored sausage, you also have a maple muffin, and you have table syrup. And in some of the other years, they've actually had a toaster pastry, or Pop-Tart, which is also very sweet. This one doesn't have that. But we're not quite done yet. We have it looks like we have a compromised accessory pack with either sugar or salt floating around in there. Luckily, sugar and salt don't really go too bad, so it should still be okay to eat. But let's see what we will be adding to the mix here. We have sugar, which I'll see if I can. You know what, I'll just replace this with another sugar packet. So we'll have a full one. I'll have to clean that up. We also have chewing gum. I'm not going to put this in for the challenge, but it's nice to have this on the side because when you're done with it, you pretty much need to get that taste out of your mouth, and this will be good for that. I will say that Sticky Fingers actually went the extra mile and put his chewing gum into his mix and actually ate that. But I figured chewing gum is meant for chewing, not eating, so it isn't exactly something that's edible in here. We also have the toilet paper, which we won't be eating, moist towelette, which we won't be eating, and the matches, which we won't be eating. But we will be putting in the coffee instant type 3, the non-dairy creamer, the aforementioned damaged sugar, and unfortunately this packet of salt. I normally wouldn't like to add much salt to my MRE because has plenty of salt in it as it is, but it is part of the challenge, and this even has a date code on it, 5099. Alright, and here we have all the main ingredients of our meal. It was pretty strange to see the sugar. It basically just wasn't sealed. So I was able to replace that with another sugar from a commercial MRE. They're both 4 grains, so it's the same thing. And I am going to go ahead and heat up the sausage. It doesn't seem like it really makes much of a difference, but the only reason is because I do want to heat up the cheese spread, just to make sure that it's nice and soft so it can really mix in with everything else. So we'll go ahead and do that. Get that activated. Seems to be starting up. Throw that in here. And add the cheese spread to the back side. And we'll give that a little time to heat up. And as it does heat up, it's also probably worth mentioning one other aspect. When I first did this challenge, basically the idea was take everything that's edible in an MRE, mix it all together, and eat it. But it does bring up the question of liquids. Some of the things that we're eating are actually drinks. So of course the beverage-based powder and the coffee would actually take water. It would be 12 ounces of water for the beverage-based powder, 6 ounces of water for the coffee. And of course, if you had anything else like a pudding or beverage-based powder or something like that that you would have to add water to, you could do it either way. You could just do it dry with all the ingredients that are in the bag, or you could measure out the exact amount of water and add that into the mix, making basically a soup. And Sticky Fingers did add water to his, and it kind of, I mean, it doesn't look appetizing anyway, but it sort of, to me, made it look even worse. But at the same time, you could also measure out all that water and just put it into a glass and drink that while you're eating the rest of the stuff. So basically, there's 3 ways that you could do this. Just eat it straight right out of the bag, add water to the ingredients, or have water on the side. And when I first did it, I didn't take into account water, and about halfway through I had to get myself a glass of water just because I could not get the stuff down. But Gundog added one other element, and since this is supposed to be fun, I think it's a perfect idea. He added the element of beer. And with how much difficulty I had with my first challenge, I'm going to go ahead and add that into mine too. I figured what goes better with an MRE than champagne? I don't have any champagne, so instead I'm going to use Miller High Life, the champagne of beers. And if that's not enough, I also have my favorite beer, Narragansett. And it's my favorite because it's in this 1975 throwback can. Of course it tastes exactly the same, but just having it in the old school can is really cool. And while the stuff heats up, I guess we can prepare a couple more of the elements. We have the crackers, which we can smash up in the package while it's still vacuum sealed. Make it a little bit easier. I sort of feel bad doing that, but I'm going to do that to it eventually anyway. It's funny, it still has the same shape, but it's going to come out all pulverized. And the maple muffin, formerly known as a maple muffin top. You can smash that up too. Alright, and now it is the moment of truth. This thing is still heating up nicely, but we don't really need it fully heated. I basically just wanted the cheese spread warmed up. At this point, it actually feels hot. Wow, it's a shame that it was actually working really good. This is very hot. Oh, the cheese spread is liquid. It's completely liquid. Alright, this should be fun. This is going to be kind of scary. Alright, well, let's take our nice sausage patty, and I feel kind of bad about this, but let's smash that baby up. As I said, this is one of my favorite MREs, probably my favorite of the breakfast menus. That smells really good. Something tells me the smell is going to get worse as we go along, though. Not sure what the best order for this is, but we'll go with the maple theme, with the maple sausage, and now we have the maple muffin, which maybe I shouldn't have smashed that up in there. It's kind of all attached to the pouch. Oh, and probably want to take this out too. We're going to eat everything that's edible in here, but we're not going to eat the oxygen absorber. That smells really good too. Let's go with the nut raisin mix, which has peanuts, raisins, walnuts, almonds, hazelnuts, cozzine. Yeah, one of my complaints about the nut raisin mixes is that they don't have salt in them. They're kind of another thing we don't want in here. Kind of a plain thing, which I always feel like it could use some salt. And luckily, or unluckily in this case, we're going to be using our salt, so these will be salted along with everything else in here. Ugh. And of course we need beverages. We have our coffee. Should make for a nice flavor. It doesn't really smell like anything. Hopefully that's okay. Creamer. Dry creamer. And the replaced sugar, because it's not sweet enough. Not our only beverage though, we also have the lemon lime beverage base powder. This is the carbohydrate electrolyte one. It's a shame because we have this nice large bag that you could conceivably mix it up in, but I'm just going to have it dry. And that leaves us with our table syrup. This is always a throw-in on this MRE that always seems kind of unnecessary. It's already sweet enough as it is, and there really isn't anything to put the syrup on. But I guess now we're going to really complete that sweetness aspect by adding this whole pouch of table syrup. Alright, and I've saved the Gundoggiest portion of this, is that a word, Gundoggiest, for last. We have our crackers. I didn't hear a hiss there. I wasn't really listening for it. But we have our pre-crumbled crackers. Looks like those are smashed up nicely. I'll make it a little bit drier. And finally, the heated up cheese spread, which as I said is basically a liquid at this point. There we go, look at that. Boy, it's a shame. I have to say, I really would have enjoyed eating this as a regular meal, but you gotta do it. So as I said, Gundog, Sticky Fingers, and Delicious have done this already. I'm kind of hoping that maybe somebody else will decide to take up the challenge too. Although I wouldn't blame you if you didn't. So there we have it. That's everything in this MRE, which is edible, in one bowl. And now we will, oh God, mix this up into one dish. I think maybe this could use a little bit of water, despite that syrup. But luckily I do have 12 ounces of water with a few other ingredients to wash it down with. And another option for this, another variation, in addition to either adding water, having water on the side measured out, as I mentioned, the actual term for this is a blender. And it would be interesting to actually put this into a blender. I don't know if I'm willing to do yet another one of these after this, but actually put it into a blender with the water and make a, I guess you would say, the ultimate smoothie. That would be a way to really have a liquid lunch. Alright, and there it is. Doesn't that look delicious? I would say it looks like dog food, but it doesn't really even look like that. Okay, I guess we gotta do this, right? Alright, now the time has come. Let me open up my beverage. And we'll start the time. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna do this in one take. I will speed it up so you don't have to watch this whole thing. Unless my battery power dies on the camera, it's just going to be one take, which will hopefully be successful. And we'll start the timer now. Wowza. Look at that. It's going to be a little better. That's going to be the ultimate sweet and savory adventure. Wow, that's not good. All that salt in there really kind of took over the sweetness. Yeah, the nuts and raisins are not a good combination with everything else. I wasn't thinking it was going to be too bad. Mostly sweet. But there's just too many things in there. You gotta remember there's lemon lime beverage powder in there. And there's coffee in there. The funny thing is, the thing I'm tasting least, I think, is the sausage. Granted, it's a small patty, but I thought it would be a little more noticeable in there. I'm not really tasting the cheese spread either. This is supposed to be a fun thing. I'm hoping it's fun to watch, but I forgot over the past year how much of a challenge this really is. It's more of a torture than anything else. Ugh. And I really am surprised. This thing is so chunky it really didn't mix like the meatballs and marinara one did. But despite that, the flavors all really did mix very well. I don't mean well as in good, I just mean it's hard to pinpoint any specific flavors in here. Which could be good or bad. I think I would say mostly bad. Wow. But I'll tell you, I already failed once at this. I can't fail twice. I've already sully this great MRE. I'm not going to waste it, too. I'm actually planning on going to see the new Star Wars movie a little bit later. I hope... I hope I don't have to excuse myself during the movie. If this thing decides to rear its ugly head later on. Let's get a little bit of this sausage up by itself, because I mean that's probably my favorite thing in this MRE. Oh, that tastes weird. It's soaked up a lot of different things. Because, excuse me, it does come in its own sauce, and apparently that has managed to take on some of the salt, some of the beverage powder, any of the dry stuff, the coffee, the creamer, sugar, to the point where even the sausage isn't very good. We're up to 6 minutes. It'd be nice to get this in under 10, but God, this is not. It's not pleasant. I'm wondering if there's any MRE that would be a good combination to do this with. Gundog managed to finish his pork sausage and cream gravy, and I really thought that was going to be horrifying. Well, I think it was, but he was able to finish it. I didn't think the meatballs and marinara would be all that bad, but my stomach really kind of just told me, no, you can't eat this. You can't be doing this. Which is funny, because if you sat down and ate an MRE in one sitting, had the main, had the sides, had the desserts and the snacks, mixed up the drinks and had them, you'd be eating this exact same thing. But putting them all together just really ruins the experience. Gotta remember there's raisins in there. The one flavor that definitely comes through is the nuts. And nut raisin mix is good, but it's not good to have that as the overall flavor in this thing. I'm not exactly sure why, but to be the one recognizable thing, it's... God. It's not really good. Well, we're getting there. Just much more than halfway done. I don't think I'll get there in 10 minutes, but I think Sticky Fingers time was just under 12. Oh, God. Thank you for suggesting the beer, Gundog. That's a lifesaver. I think I'm going to try... Oh. I just hit a roadblock there. The nuts that are killing me. God. This could be a mistake. Nice chunk of sausage there, which I probably won't taste. And excuse the noises. There's not much I can do about it at this point. Not a lot left, but I'm kind of slowing down here. Just gotta force it. Just gotta get this stuff down. Whether it'll stay down, who knows? But kind of tasted that chunk of sausage, but it's like a citrusy sausage almost with the beverage-based powder. Can't say I'm tasting the coffee, which is probably good. I'm not a coffee drinker anyway. So it's not bad to not taste that. Well, I'm not a very happy guy right now, but I am happy to say that it looks like I'm going to be able to finish this. Last bite. I'm just in time because camera battery is about to run out. Oh! You know, I'm still chewing, but 10 minutes, 45 seconds. Basically, I guess 11 minutes. I should have kept it going until I got this last bite down. Oh! Wow! Save the best for last. Woo! Oh my god. Alright, second attempt at the Gundogging It Up to the Max challenge. Finally a success. As with the first one, I'm not going to specifically call anybody out because I don't want to do that to anyone. But I do thank Gundog, Sticky Fingers, and Delicious for taking up the challenge last year. And if anybody wants to do it, I'd be more than happy to watch, and I apologize ahead of time for how you're going to feel afterwards. But that was the pork sausage patty, maple flavored, Gundogging It Up to the Max challenge. Ooh. Whoa, and I forgot. This stuff comes back to haunt you. It really stays with you. And you're going to be burping it up like the rest of the day, more than you would with a normal MRE. So it's definitely a good idea to have the chewing gum in reserve. And that'll help until the burps come along. Whew. Thank you for watching.